2 interceptions, no touchdowns. Here's Dan Campbell after the game.
You know, I asked for improvement from last week, was the story. And we did improve. We did improve. And their coach cost them. Their head coach cost them this one.
Next, Coach, what was the story of this game? Bucs win or the Lions lose?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I'd say the bigger story though is the Bucs win, and Detroit to be able to go into Detroit and win, and to win the way that they did, because their numbers weren't very good across the board. Their numbers weren't very good, but they showed more grit than the Lions, which that's the Lions trademark. That's what they're known for. So I give Baker a lot of credit. I give the team a lot of credit to win in that environment. And then there's an element, too, of Detroit having to get out of their own way. They were 1 for 7 in the red zone. They had a mistake at the end of the half. Yep. There were a lot of things.
That's what he's talking about when he said I cost him the half.
It's unfortunate to lose the 3 points the way that they lost 3 points is a tough situation. Totally changes the end of the game. But I give Baker a ton of credit to being grittier than Detroit was in Detroit Stadium.
I think it's the Buccaneers win, too. That's bigger. And they've announced themselves, at least so far, they've announced themselves as, look, we're a tough team. To go into Detroit and hold that team to 16 points, we know all their offensive weapons. But I will say this about the Lions, like, this is them, now you're playing with expectations. Even last year, even though people knew they were kind of coming, it's still, you hadn't arrived to whatever degree you can without a Super Bowl. This year, now everybody's looking at them as a tough game, and that's from the coach on down. That's not just the players. They expect a lot from Campbell and these players, and they didn't look great against a banged-up Rams team. I know the Rams are pretty good, but they're banged up. Didn't look great against them in week 1, and obviously this last week. So Detroit is a team to watch and see how they respond to this.
Listen, nobody on this show has been a bigger Baker Mayfield fan than me, and I picked them to make the playoffs, but they're exceeding my expectations, and he's been awesome now for 2 months, or 8 straight games, if you will, you know what I mean, dating back to last year. But the bigger story for the NFL is the Lions loss, because there are 2 ominous clouds over this otherwise incredibly optimistic Lions scenario. And they are Dan Campbell's game management and Jared Goff's propensity to instantly go pumpkin mode if pressured.
Right.
Those are everything else you have to I love the roster. Yep. I love the scheme. I love the talent. I love the youth. Aiden Hutchinson might have 20 sacks by Thanksgiving. Yeah. Love all of it. And I like Dan Campbell as a coach overall holistically, and he clearly loves his players. But the stuff you need to be buttoned up about, he has never shown me he's excellent at. And Goff has always shown me that if you can break through that offensive line, I understand all quarterbacks are worse when they're pressured. I get it. But he is like, the numbers, it's like, wait, is Jared Goff one of the 3 best quarterbacks in football? And then it's like, wait, is Jared Goff going to throw an interception every time he drops back? And it's just based on, did he get pressured? And that's what showed up in this game. The Lions had no business losing it, but the coach did cost him, and Goff cost him. And that, to me, is why they were hard to believe in as a Super Bowl team, despite how many things I like about them. So that, to me, is the bigger story for the league.
I did love the Lions punting in their own end zone. And then quickly, before we go to break, Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up, because you were so big on Baker being focused just on the getting better, none of the off-the-field stuff. National commercials right now. It's Baker 0, Dan Campbell 1.
I was just going to bring that up. That Baker should probably stay away from the national commercials. His formula is working.
Dan Campbell.
He's not on the TV every single time you change the channel.
Right.
Okay.
Let's stay with this for a while.
Okay.
Just real quick, Drew, the fake punt from their own end, you loved it because it worked, correct? Yes. That was one you loved?
Yes, okay, that's what. Had the worst play of week 1. He's like, you know what? I can do it again. Worst play of week 2. Coach, give that play a grade.
If you have someone else that you can put in at that point, you might want to put him in. This is just finding ways to lose, and ridiculous ways to lose.
Can I do something that no one will do today? Defend Will Levis?
Wow.
Listen, Will Levis can't stop being Will Levis. That's who he is.
That's what I'm saying.
You know who he is. The coach can say, we're up 7-0 on the Jets. It's 3rd and goal. Run the ball. Maybe we pop it. We get the 3 points. What the coach can also do is, do you know what play they called the very next time they had the ball? A bomb from their own end, and he threw a pick.
Nick, there's no planning where you're thinking, you know what I think Will's going to do? Scramble 40 yard and then throw it backwards.
Well, you know
while
what?
he's falling
Then I
down.
would tell you, they haven't been watching their own quarterback.
Yeah,
because
you're
if you
not-
were to, coach, every time the Titans game flashes on red zone and they have the ball, you assume, oh, Will Levis made a disaster.
Yeah.
It made a mess.
And this season, I think all those especially offensive acquisitions they made in the offseason, a lot of it was to see what Will Levis is.
Well, he's got 2 of
which
the
is
worst plays of
smart,
the year.
But no, I mean, he's
You
clearly
got
not
one more
helping
try, and then
himself.
it's honestly a real conversation.
Yeah.
Like you're having disaster.
Because they actually have a pretty good team. I mean, I'm not saying
Defenses
they're
play
great,
well.
but yeah,
Yeah.
they got some.
All right.
They're pretty good
Told
team.
Caleb
I don't know.
so.
I don't know if okay,
they had a
wonderful.
quarterback.
San Fran versus the Vikings. Sam Darnold Renaissance. Anyone?
No, this is about Justin Jefferson. But watch the ref. Watch the ref beat the safeties to the end zone. I understand it's a different angle.
That
but
ref-
is
that ref
moving.
is booking.
I mean, and then he backpedals perfectly.
Who is that ref?
I don't know,
Is
man.
he a former
but look
player
at
or
it.
something?
Stop, start. You're going
Yeah,
to see a
he's-
flash across the screen.
He is flying.
moving.
He builds speed, too.
What?
That's
What?
He was booking.
Why are you giving me that look?
I said Sam Darnold Renaissance.
I know,
You're
but
like, you know
nobody-
what? This isn't about Sam Darnold. It's about Justin
would give
Jefferson.
Darnold
And then
any
you talk
love.
45 seconds about the ref.
Okay, you know what?
That ref
Then
was
X
incredibly
out
fast.
my box. I'm not allowed to participate in Weird and Wonderful today.
It's all
That's
Sam
what I
Darnold
call it.
Renaissance. The guy's 2-0.
Nobody wants to talk about Sam Darnold.
I do.
But you
You know
pull
what?
out
You-
after
Nobody
the
wants to talk
Vikings.
about the ref.
Oh, you know what? Coach loved it.
Can I say this,
I did
Wilds?
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Can I say this? Sam Darnold, under Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy last year, may have learned something. This is the same type of offense.
That's a great call.
So I'm like Wilds on this one. Hey,
As a defensive
Thank you.
coordinator,
2-0, and he's
Hey,
Yeah.
this is
no
the
one has
worst thing that
noticed
can happen
I'm
to you.
gone. They took me off, bro. I'm gone.
Now it's you. You got to put
It
him back.
looks so much better.
Who's out
turn
of
off his
Carolina?
mic. You turn off his
Take
mic.
him off again.
Bryce benched.
God dog it.
What? Now you're back.
Oh, that's
We're moving on.
Bryce. Yeah.
Weird. Bryce benched. What do you mean?
No, I mean, it's sad. It's sad.
I'm bummed out about this.
Yeah, it's sad.
All right, so Bryce has not been performing well at all. He feels like he got emotional. I've seen quarterbacks broken before, Mac Jones, and I think it's probably time for him to get out of there. Do you like him going somewhere else?
Mac Jones made the Pro Bowl as a rookie and
Trust me, you
played
wanna tell me
pretty
that.
well.
Got that
So,
tattooed on my lower back.
but the broken part, I think it's a different equation. And again, when you get drafted where he got drafted, the expectations are so high, and it's just been bad without any sign of progress. I don't.
But it's a confidence break. Like I don't think you can make
Well, it could be
no longer
it
play.
could be a confidence break, but at some point you've got to show some signs of life here, and he really hasn't shown.
You know, now
much
he's on the
of
bench.
that.
Wilds, I think you made some good points. I think it was off the air.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield was in Carolina and didn't play well. Sam Darnold, who we don't know what he is yet, but he didn't, play well there. So maybe getting someplace else, maybe would be good for Bryce Young. But he hasn't shown.
Both those guys went to multiple places, and Sam Darnold, we have a 2-game.
Yeah, some-
yeah,
right.
exposure
So I'm not
to-
saying
And
he's
Baker
great.
also, Baker's had games and stretches and months of good football. I don't want to pile on the kid. Getting benched 2 games into your second year is brutal. You can't find a 6 consecutive series, much less week or game stretch, where it's like that's the guy. You just can't. You know my stance. So
6th round pick to Miami. Work with Mike McDaniel.
Yeah. Do I think there is a chance that a brilliant offensive mind with the right weapons could salvage him to a degree? Sure. Do I ever think he will be an above-average starting quarterback in the NFL? Absolutely not. I feel mean, but it's just how I felt. I said I wouldn't take him in the first round. He went number 1 overall.
Well, hopefully he'll have a chance to redeem himself someday.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And then, by the way, the Panthers might put him back in. It's not like Andy Dalton's going to come in and that's going to be a well-oiled machine there.
Right.
True. All right, let's talk about the Bucs and the Lions. Bake Show throws one, runs one. Goff throws 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. Here's Dan Campbell after the game.